Hey everybody, Derek Stellens here with Gaming Wildlife. I just got back from Pokemon Go Fest. Please excuse the quality of this video. I'm in the process of moving to Sweden, so I do not have access to my video equipment or my editing equipment, so this clip is just going up live with no editing or anything like that. So, I just got back from Pokemon Go Fest, and it was, let's say, a disaster. So, to start off the day, we ended up staying in line for over 2 hours just to get in, and while we were waiting in line to get into the event, we noticed that we couldn't quite interact with the game. We kept trying to log in. We're like, with all these people here, we can't log in. And we were thinking about all the different things that they're probably doing. It's like, well, once we get in, we know we have the wristband with the digital chip in it, so maybe they have like extra cell phone towers. So once we log in with the game, once we're inside of the event, we might be able to be on some kind of private network. Otherwise, if it's like this, once we're inside, we're not going to be able to do anything with the game at all. So once we actually got inside, scanned our wristband, they gave us this thing with a QR code and numbers, so that way we were able to actually start catching the secret items that none of the spoofers or anybody else could get. We also got this neat patch. Once we did that, we realized you couldn't even log into the game, because what happened is that there were way too many people at this festival, and they were not accounting for that many people, which they know exactly how many tickets they sold. They knew exactly how many people were going to be there. So it was really surprising that they seemed completely unprepared for the event. So what happened is, once we were inside for about 2 hours, all we could really do is log on maybe once or twice. And we saw things like the Heracross, or they had the Unknown available at the park, but we couldn't even spin a stop or interact with the game whatsoever. So they tried to go ahead and go on with the event and do their panels and their discussions with a lot of the YouTubers, but people started chanting, "We can't play, we can't play," and the crowd was really starting to get upset because we couldn't really do anything. So what happened later on is they decided to expand the event outside into Chicago. So once you sign up and once you activate the wristband and your phone, you then had a 2-mile radius. So that way we could spread us out. So that way it's not like someone told me it was 70,000 people all in one like 4-block area. Of course we wouldn't be able to log onto the game. But now that we had 2 miles and we spread out into the city, the event ended up turning out just fine. We ended up finding a lot of the different, region-exclusive Pokemon and things like that. We ended up getting a bunch of Unknown. I ended up getting a bunch of Chicago-specific ones. It's the different letters that spell out Chicago, so C-H-I-G-A-O. Not in that order. But, yeah, so it's really neat. We ended up getting all of them there. He's so cute. So anyway, then we got to see all of the different, the only region-exclusive one that was there was Heracross, which we were able to get a hold of him there. None of the other region exclusives showed up. However, when it comes to legendaries, that was another thing that really ended up kind of disappointing a lot of people, because they decided that gym raids were just not going to happen. So raids just didn't happen at all. There were a couple here and there. They did a couple Tyrannitars at one point, but back in the park where it was ground zero, you couldn't even log in that area. So there were no legendary raids. But what they told us is we were just going to get Lugia. So, like, if you went to Pokemon Go Fest, apparently sometime, maybe Monday, maybe tomorrow, I'm just going to have Lugia in my Pokedex. And that's really disappointing, because I wanted to fight him, I wanted to beat him, and I wanted to get him. So once they expanded out the park, and then they announced that we were going to get Lugia, they also decided to give us a lot of other stuff as well. So we're going to get our money back for the event, because it didn't turn out the way that they thought, and they're going to give us $100 worth of Pokecoins. So that's like 15,000 Pokecoins almost. And that's pretty great. I mean, Niantic is in a really tough spot, and they're trying to do everything they can to make everybody happy. And we were supposed to have all these challenges where we were going to catch Pokemon, and that would dictate what the specials are for the next 48 hours, or so on and so forth. And since we weren't able to catch any Pokemon at all, essentially, it looks like all of those specials are now active for everybody. So it looks like we're getting double XP, where it looks like you get a walking bonus, an egg hatching bonus, Stardust bonus, candy bonus, all of it. I don't know how long it's going to go. They didn't quite tell us, and at that point, everybody had spread out into the city so much, and nobody could come back, because if you tried to go back into the park, you couldn't even log in anymore. So news is kind of spread thin, but right now, it's like Niantic did a really great job. Niantic is really trying to make everybody as happy as possible, and I'm not mad. I mean, sure, it wasted a few hours, but we got what we wanted and more. We get the Pokecoins, we get our money back. They're doing the best they can with a bad situation. But at the same time, you got to hold them a little responsible because they sold that many tickets. They knew the people were going to be there, and they seemed like, so what? Everybody will be able to log in, right? Like, anybody who's played those cell phone games knows that that many people together, it's not going to work. So I'm not sure what went on behind the scenes. It's going to be interesting to see what happens coming up, but I think they did a really great job. I think they're doing everything that they can. And I'm excited to get Lugia, although I'm a little disappointed that I don't actually get to fight him, and I'm just going to have him now all of a sudden. Don't even know when I'm going to get him. But I'm going to continue playing Pokemon Go. I'm not too upset with the company. They're just in a bad situation. It's kind of the first thing of its kind, the cell phone games going out in the area. And hopefully in the future they refine this process and we're going to see a lot more. So, I'm looking forward to Pokemon Go. Right now there's a ton of bonuses out there, so grab your game, head out, and start spinning and start catching, because you're going to get a lot of bonus stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe. And be sure to check out my series on gaming wildlife called Console to Screen. You guys have a good night. Stop recording.